Hello and welcome to Deborah's Tutorials. Today I'm going to be doing a little quick tutorial. Well, it's not going to be that quick because I'm actually going to do it from start to finish. Um, and what I'm going to be doing is a 20-ounce tapered metallic tumbler. And instead of using shrink wrap today, I am going to be using silicone sleeves. I'm going to try it with the silicone sleeves. I usually just use these silicone sleeves right here for my 16-ounce tumblers because they're a little short. But today I'm going to try using two to see if it will work. Put one on one end and then put the other one from the other end. I'm going to see how this works out today. So I got kind of little hooked on the little new strawberry acai or acai refreshers, however they call them at Starbucks. So I decided I wanted to make myself a Starbucks tumbler, and I'm gonna personalize it for myself. The program I'm going to be designing in is called Vinyl Master. I got this program with my vinyl plotter when I purchased it from US Cutter. They sent you the free software, design software. The design software they sent me was called Vinyl Master, but of course, when you purchase your cutter, they only send you the standard version, which doesn't have a lot of capabilities. So I upgraded it to Vinyl Master Letter, which allows me to do a little more with it, and I really like it. It's really easy and user friendly. So as you can see, I brought in my image, and I found this image right here on Etsy. So I brought this in. I like the pink, and I'm going to be doing a custom drink. I like to add a little extra shots of sweetener, so I put 2 shots of sweetener right here, and I'm going to be doing the strawberry acai. Um, I like it made with lemonade. So it's called the Strawberry Acai Lemonade Refresher. So in Vinyl Master, right here is where you click to um, enter your text. So I click that and I'm going to type in my text. So I'm going to be doing the Strawberry Acai. And then I'm going to type in lemonade. All right. So the reason why I did it like this is because I did it in 2 words. It's because when I type it all together and use the space and space it, there's a little too much space in between there um, using this program. So I usually just do 2 separate lines and I can line them up myself. So I'm actually going to change the font. And I purchased this font, I want to say from fonts bundles, but I'm not sure, so don't hold me to that. So I'm going to line it up here, and I'm actually going to select both of them and do some alignment and make sure they're aligned with each other. So I'm going to align and distribute, and I want to center them vertically. So it looks like they're centered. And what I'm going to do is I could weld them together. So now these 2 lines are welded and they're going to all move as one. But I want to jazz this one up a little bit, so I want to add glitter to it. Um, so in this program right here, where it says effects, or actually it says object, I want to insert an image fill. So I click that and I want to select this pink glitter right here, and voila. See how easy that was? All right. So when I place that over there, it's kind of hard to read. So I'm going to add an outline to it. So I'm going to select it. Right here is the text tool for you to add your outlines. So I'm going to add a white outline. I want to select white as my color, apply. And then right here is the outline button. I click it until I get the desired outline. And I think that will look good right there. And then I'm going to group all that together and we're going to move it onto my image. So now it's a little easier to read. And I'm going to angle it just a little bit. All right, so I think that looks good right there. I had thought about changing these, but I think I'm gonna leave those. Let me see what it'll look like in black. I think I'll leave it in white. So I'm gonna go back and undo what I just did. All right. So everything pretty much looks good. I think I'm gonna add my name. Add Deborah. I'm gonna select my font. And I'm gonna add glitter to this. So I go to Object Weld and my glitter. And I'm gonna add me an outline to this one as well. White. All right. So now where do I want to put my name? I think I'll put it over there. How about that? So I'm going to make sure these two are aligned. And they are now aligned like that. And make sure everything is where I want it. Looks good to me. So now I'm going to select all, and I want to group all of this together. So now since I've done that, I can now move my whole image and it is grouped together. All right. So now I'm going to export this out. I just use Vinyl Master for designing, because with the Vinyl Master letter, I'm not able to select color profiles like you can with Photoshop. If I upgrade it to the Vinyl Master Designer, I would then have that feature. But since I don't have that feature and I prefer to use Photoshop so I can change my color profiles when I'm printing, I'm now going to export this out and I'm going to export it into Photoshop. But before I do that, I need to create a template for my tapered tumbler. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to Online Labels, www.onlinelabels.com. And I need to create a tapered tumbler. So I'm type in tapered. It's going to take me to my template generator. So for this tapered tumbler, the measurements at the top, which I'm going to put right here, are going to be 9.50. For my bottom, the measurements are 8.75. And for my height, I'm going with 8.25. For my wrap coverage, I'm going to change it to 102. I want 100%. You want 100% wrap, but I added 2 to it so I can get just a little extra coverage and make sure it fits. And then we're going to go with a 0 radius for my corners. I'm now going to click Generate. And here is my template for my tapered tumbler. I'm now going to download this. And I have a folder that I keep them in. And I'm just going to download that and save it into that. Once I find it, hold on one second. Save it as I want to replace that 20-ounce metallic. All right, why is it telling me this? One moment, you guys. I want to download this to. All right. And I'm going to save it as the JP Plus 20-ounce tapered metallic tumbler. All right. And now that I have that saved, I'm going to go to Photoshop. And I go to Photoshop, and what I do is I use the drag and drop method. So using my drag and drop method, I go to where I have my template stored, and I drag and drop it into the program, and it opens up. So now it's opened up like this. And now I'm going to bring in my image. So I need to go back here, and I'm going to resize my image because I'm not too, I know a little bit about Photoshop, but I have issues in Photoshop with the sizing. So when I bring something in, I like to bring it in to the size that it should be if it was a straight tumbler. And for the JP Plus 20-ounce metallic tumblers, their measurements are 9.5 by 8.10. So now it's pretty much to size. I'm going to export it out as a PNG. So I have PNG set here. I want to go to custom designs. And I'm just going to throw it in a little folder in Starbucks. I see. Strawberry. And I'm just going to save it right there. I like to bump up my DPIs. So I'm going to bump it up to 450. That way my images are nice and clear. Shouldn't have any issues with those. So I'm going to minimize this. I'm now going to bring my image in on top of my template. So you see I have the template down under the bottom, layered on the bottom, and I have my image layered on top. So now in order to fit this inside of the template without distorting my image, I am now going to edit, and where it says transform, well actually I'm going to bring it out a little bit to try to get it to fit as much as possible. And for some reason, this does not look like the right template. So hold on one second. This looks like my template for my... see something. It's the wrong template. All right. So here's the correct one. Sorry about that. I brought in the wrong template. So now I'm going to go back in now and bring in my image. I knew that one looked a little too big. All right. So, and I'm going to line it up as much as I can. All right. So now that I got it kind of covering the bottom, the template that's on the bottom, I'm going to go to edit and I want to go to warp. And what I'm doing is warping the image inside of the template without distorting it. And that way I won't cut off any of my design. And I'll be making my own tapered template. So I bought the bottoms in to match the bottom of the template. Now I'm just dragging in my sides. Dragging in the right side. Bring it out a little bit. I'm dragging my left side. Sure it fits down there. And I'm dragging it until I can tell that I have covered the white lines on the side. I mean the black lines. All right. Then I'm going to drag up the top. And now I'm going to bring up the bottom. And as you can see, what I've done is I've reshaped my image, but I didn't lose any of my design. And this is how I created my template. So now what I'm going to do is remove the background layer, which was the template. And I'm just now left with my tapered template for my tumbler. So I'm going to now print it. And I print from Photoshop because I can manage my colors. So I'm going to use my 15,000 today. And if you notice up here, you have your printer settings, and then you also have your color management settings for Photoshop. Since I'm using Photoshop to manage my colors today, I need to make sure that my printer color management settings are off. So I selected my 15,000 printer. I'm now going to click Print Select or Print Settings. And I'm going to go over here and I have them preset. For this tumbler right here, I should be able to print on an 8.5 by 11. So I selected my preset that I have for 8.5 by 11. What that is from my 15,000, I have my 8.5 by 11 paper set in my paper cassette. I'm going to be printing landscapes. I'm making sure I'm using Craft and Besties paper. So with the Cosmos color ink profile, so the settings or recommended settings for those or paper type is premium presentation paper matte. My print quality is set on high. I like to preview my images before they print, so I select print preview so I can preview them first. I then go to more options. I clicked on more options. And I'm now on to the next screen where right here where it says color correction, I want to make sure that my color management settings for my printer are off. So I'm selecting no color adjustment. If I don't select this, that means the color management is going to be trying on my printer is going to be trying to manage color along with Photoshop is going to be trying to manage colors. So I make sure that that is set off. And then I want to make sure my image is mirrored. I didn't mirror the image in the design, so I make sure my mirror image is set on my printer. I select OK here. I then go back to the Photoshop print settings, and I want Photoshop to manage my colors, so I make sure that that is set. Right here is where you select your color profiles. So I have Cosmos Color Ink profile set. I then want to make sure right here where it says rendering intent, I want my colors to be absolute colorimetric. So I select that. And right here, I make sure I have match print colors. All my printers, all my settings look good. So I'm going to hit print. This is what my image is going to look like. And I want to just show you a difference between your color profiles. So this right here, you see how bright these colors are going to be using the Cosmos. I'm going to cancel this and I'm going to reprint or act like I'm going to reprint. And I'm going to change this to Adobe RGB. Now you see how when I change to Adobe, you see how the brightness died. I'm going to change it back. You see the difference? Now I'm going to change it back to Adobe and you see how it darkened up. All right. So once I do that, I'm going to click print and I'm going to show you the difference. And you see how dark this one is going to come out? It's not going to be as bright as the Cosmos ink. So I'm going to go back now. I'm going to go back now and change it back to Cosmos. And see how it brightened up a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and select print. Take it to the print screen and I'm going to hit print. So now while that is printing, I'm going to go ahead and clean my tumbler. So I clean my tumblers with alcohol. I have some alcohol in I got some alcohol in a bottle. And I use the rags. Spray a little alcohol on it. And I'll clean them. Now make sure they're nice and dry. These are the microfiber rags. I couldn't think of the name of it. That's why I was tripping. But I use the microfiber rags and I make sure it's nice and clean and dry. And we're going to wait for that to print out. So I hope you guys are enjoying my little tutorial. I decided it's been a minute since I did a tutorial. Decided to get on here tonight and do one. I actually had a cup that I needed to do, a tumbler that I had to do, and I wanted to make this one for myself. So I said, why not do a tutorial tonight? It's only 9:30. Now, once again, I'm going to be using the silicone sleeves today instead of shrink wrap. I usually shrink wrap on my 20-ounce tumblers, but I just did a 16-ounce tumbler. So today I am going to see if I can do it with the two of the silicone wraps today. We're going to see how it turns out. If I mess it up, it's mine anyway. So so I have the Epson 15,000 that I'm printing on today. I also have the 4700, but I'm not going to use that one today. I'll be using my 15,000. And it's printing out. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my oven. And I'll be using my Ninja oven today. I have the Ninja XL. So I'm going to turn this one on. And I use the air fry mode. I set mine at 350 degrees. I bake my tumblers on 350. And I'm going to go ahead and hit start and let it preheat. I bake my tumblers at 350 degrees and I bake them for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's almost finished printing. And as you know, when you're doing sublimation, your prints always print out lighter or different colors than what you print them as. So they might look dull on the paper, but once you sublimate them onto your substrate, then the colors will then brighten up. So right now it's looking kind of dull. All right. So it's finished printing. That's what it looks like. So I'm now going to trim my image. And I'm trying to cut it and make sure there's no white showing. Now I do have a cutter, but on the tapered, kind of hard, especially with the light designs, kind of hard to see the lines. So that's why I'm doing this one by hand. And I don't worry too much about the bottom having a little white showing because the bottom of the tumbler is white as well. So It really doesn't matter. So now I'm going to tape my tumbler. And as you can see, my template works perfectly. It wrapped perfectly around my tapered tumbler. That's how easy it is to create your own templates. A lot of guys like to ask or buy the templates that are already tapered. But when you buy the templates that are already tapered, number one, your image, it might not even fit your tumbler because all tumblers are different. I've learned that. So measure I like to measure mine myself. And on this one right here, I want to make sure I got a little bit of white showing on this side. So I'm going to make sure that I overlap that part on top. I cut the other side pretty good. And I'm going to be using my clear heat transfer tape, which I purchased this clear from Heat Press Nation. I'm sorry, not Heat Transfer. I'm thinking about the tape. And then I like to take my little squeegee and I squeeze to make sure I have all air out. I'm squeezing, making sure it's tight. I tape and I squeeze. I roll and make sure it's tight. I tape and I squeeze all my air out. And do the same thing all the way up to the top. And today I'm using Crafting Besties paper. Squeeze all my air and fold it over to the top. So I have my seam done. Only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to tape my rims. I also like to use my clear tape. Pull me off some. And I'm going to tape around the bottom. And when I tape my bottoms, I don't use this tape all the way at the top. I leave a little space. Because right now I'm just making sure I squeeze all air out. And so when I come around with this tape, it should not be any air. Squeezing all air out through the top. So now, as you can see, I left some room right here. I will then go back in with the brown heat transfer tape to seal that off. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and do this side with the clear. And I'm pulling it tight as I go. Make sure it's flush, no air. Now I'm going in with the brown. And at the brown, I will then seal my tops off. And I pull this one. This tape is more flexible than the clear tape because it's thinner and it stretches better to me. That's why I use the brown going around the top and the bottom to make sure I get it nice and tight and I have a good seal. All right. I then take my scraper and I'm scraping. Make sure I don't have any air up in there. Make sure it's nice and flat. And I'm going to go in with one more piece of tape around the rim. pulling as I go and folding over. Sometimes it acts like it doesn't want to fold sometimes, so I take it and I cut little slits in it. To get it on over in there. All right. So now my top is done. I'm going to go around my bottom. And I usually like to brand the bottom of my tumblers, but on the 20-ounce tumbler, they're not straight. It's got like a little indentation. So these are kind of hard to brand at the bottom, so I just don't brand the bottom of these. I went around with tape, use my squeege. And one more piece. All right. So now since I have that done, I'm going to now apply the silicone sleeves. And with the silicone sleeves, like I say, you just roll them down onto the top of the tumbler. I'm going to start from the bottom. And I pull it around the edges. I ripped that one with my nail. So we'll try this one. And it's really just like putting on a condom, to be honest with you. You just put it on and you roll it down. And like I said, these aren't long enough to do a whole 20-ounce tumbler. So I'm going to get another one and come in from this side. I'll pull this down just a little bit. All right. Now I'm going to come in from the top with this one. And we're going to roll over the top of that. And I'm just rolling this down a little bit so I can make sure that this top is flush. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm worried about this rim right here, and I'm hoping it doesn't leave a line or indentation in it. But hey, we're just trying this out today. It's my cup, and we're going to see what it's going to do. Now, roll this back up. And voila. We now have our 20-ounce metallic tumbler wrapped in a silicone sleeve. So we're going to see what it's going to do. Let's see how it does. So my oven should be nice and ready. My thermometer on the inside is reading 350. Probably can't read it. So we're going to throw this bad boy in the oven. And set a timer for 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay, 3 minutes and 50 seconds and counting.
Siri, cancel that timer. Done. Siri, set a timer for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Siri, hey Siri, set a timer for 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Okay, 4 minutes and 15 seconds and counting. Siri been working my nerves today, you guys. But that was my fault because I told her 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I don't know what I was thinking about, but I cooked my tumblers at 350 degrees for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So I had my numbers mixed up. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed and see how this silicone wrap is going to do on a 20-ounce tumbler. And the oven that I'm using the Oster XL. I purchased that Oster XL because I had some 35-ounce tumblers. And I have the Gourmet oven that I purchased from Walmart for $89, which was an excellent air fryer. It works great. It just I found some 35-ounce tumblers from Stainless Depot, and I do not like to lay my tumblers down. I like to stand them up. So I measured my 35-ounce tumblers, and I went to Target to see which one of the air fryers will fit, that it would fit in standing up. And this one was the winner. It was the only one that the 35-ounce tumbler could stand up. It's still a tight squeeze. Very little room at the top, but it will go in there. So that's why I purchased that one. And to be honest with you, I love it. On the Gourmet that I have, you have to set it at least 25 degrees lower than what you're trying to cook it at, because with that one it tends to run hotter than what I set it at. So if I set it at 325 using the convection mode, it holds at 350 when it gets to max temperature. If I use the air fryer mode on there, I set it at 320 because it runs 30 degrees higher. Usually runs 30 degrees higher when I use the air fryer mode. But this Oster, I have it set at 350 and it's holding at 350. It don't play. That one don't play the radio. The temperature is pretty much spot on the Oster. I mean on the Ninja XL. And once it comes out, I like to sit my tumblers in front of a fan, a high-speed fan, to cool them off. No, you don't have to remove the paper as soon as it comes out. While it's hot, you can let it cool down. And that is why I sit mine in front of a fan for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, however long it takes to cool. And then I remove my paper and I'll remove the sleeves and the paper. And for some reason, 4 minutes and 30 seconds or 4 minutes and 15 seconds seems like a long time when you're waiting on a tumbler. It just seems like the time goes by so slow. And I'm thinking I'm overcooking my tumbler. that's So I hope you guys are enjoying this tutorial. Please don't forget to like and share and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. All right, you guys, time's up. I'm going to remove it and I'm going to sit it in front of my fan, okay? turn it off. I'm in my garage. My workspace is in my garage. It's a little chilly in here, so I'm going to open that so the heat can come out and warm it up a little bit in here. We don't want to waste that heat. I now have my tumbler sitting in front of my high-speed fan. You can probably hear it running in the back. Usually takes around 2 minutes or so. I let it sit over there for about 2 minutes. If I was doing another tumbler, I would just let it sit over there until I remove the tumbler out of here and take it over there, and then I just bring it back. But since I'm not, I'm gonna let it sit for probably about around 2 minutes. Cools off pretty fast. Hope you guys had a good day today. And once again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave me a question in the comments, and I will be sure to answer as many as I can. These 20-ounce tumblers, I purchased these from JP Plus. They come with the stainless steel straw as well. I think they were around $9, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, I will put a link in the description to the metallic tumblers. I will also put a link in the description to the silicone wraps that I purchased from Condi. I'll go ahead and put a link in this description as well for the clear heat transfer tape that I used, as well as the brown. This brown right here, I know for sure that this brown, I actually got this brown tape off Amazon. This brown tape right here does not leave, sometimes the brown tape will leave a stain on the bottom of your tumblers, or if you're taping anything, say a t-shirt or whatever. If you get a hold to a bad batch of the brown tape, depending on where you get it from, it'll leave stains, and I have no idea how to get those stains out. It took one tumbler for that to happen to me, and I know this tape that I purchased off of Amazon does not do that. Condi also has a brown tape. They actually call it like a gold. It's a little on the expensive side, and you don't really get that much. This clear tape that I got was really good price point, and it's a really big roll. Now, this clear tape, when I bought it, I thought it was the same texture and consistency of this brown tape, but it's actually a little thicker. It's actually pretty much on the lines of the Cricut as far as the thickness. It's just not as wide. The Cricut tape is a lot wider than this one. I prefer this one better. I like this one, but when using it on tumblers going around the top, it doesn't fold over well and seal well. So that is why I use the brown tape to seal my tops. I'm almost out, so I'm going to have to order some more of my brown. All right, guys, I'm going to go get my tumbler. I'll be right back. All right. So now it's cooled off. I can touch it. I don't need any heat gloves. And we're going to just roll this down. Boop. Popped it off. Same thing with this one. I'm going to roll it back in the opposite direction that you rolled it on. Boop. Popped it off. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. We're going to open it up and see what we get. See what's happening. Looking good. Get my X-Acto knife. And we're going to cut this tape. killing me. I think it worked, yo. See, I was worried about that little hump. That little hump didn't do nothing. Okay, all right. I have to quit shrink wrapping all together now with the 20 ounce. I think the silicone sleeve is a winner. Ooh. Y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready? Are we ready? Oh, that is pretty, guys. That is pretty. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Michael's. And I want to try to put me some ice on the top. I'm going to see if they have a little strawberry to sit up there along with a piece of lemon. And we're going to be too cute. Yes. I probably could have used a little bit of a darker. You probably can't really see it because of the light. But you could read it. It's really cute. But I might have should have went just a little darker. I probably should have put it the same color as this right here. But I could see it. I could see the white sweeteners. It's a little light, but it'll work. That is cute. And see, for the taping, see how well my bottom took? There's no ghosting whatsoever. Along with the top, there's no ghosting at all. And yeah, you know that's bad when I can't even see my seam. Oh, but the seam is supposed to be somewhere in there. Because you remember on the design, I put strawberry on one side on this end, and then I put my name on the other end. But I can't even see the seam. Wow. I almost didn't forgot where the seam was, but yeah, it's right. I could tell a little bit right here. I could tell where the seam was supposed to be, but wow, that came out really good, you guys. All right. Well, once again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget, if you like what you saw, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And also hit your notifications button so you can be notified of the next time I go live. Thanks for watching, you guys.